I went in for my routine physical, and the doctor on base said I had an elevated PSA. So they asked me to go see an oncologist, and I went to him. And he took his samples and whatnot, and then he came back and told us, we were both together when he gave us the news. When he first told it to me, I got his information, but as he was telling me, I was slowly fading to white, not fainting, but just racing this thought that I have this disease, this issue now. And you know, with cancer, sometimes it's there for life.
When he came in, he, a little bit of a comedian, I think, he came in and said, I've got good news and I have bad news. The bad news is you have cancer, but the good news is it one that we can get rid of. I thought it was kind of a strange thing to way to open up our conversation.
And said I had cancer, and that it was real serious, you know, and what's the word? Aggressive, yeah. And so I couldn't believe it. I says, you know, there's got to be some mistake, you know. And oh no, this is what your problem is.
I just quickly said a quick prayer, focused in on what the doctor was saying, because I felt that I had to be positive and not fall apart, just so he can, you know, so we can get through this, you know, wherever it was going to take us, so we could get through it.
And when the doctor left the room, his reaction was, I guess I'll just go home and figure out how to live the rest of my life. And when I saw that, I realized I was going to have to be stronger. So I told him, I will get you through this together. I'll be right by your side and we will get through this.
My family physician, who had referred me because my scores were a little bit too high, had changed from one exam to the other, he said, call me and let me know what the results were of your biopsy. So I called him and he said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to have the robotic surgery. And he said, well, Mike, why don't you do this thing called proton radiation?
Kathy was on the computers and read about it, heard about it, and immediately we changed our mind. And because they told just what it'd do, and without damage, very little damage to your body, other than removing the cancer.
The process itself only took a few minutes a day. So I would go to work every morning as usual, and then around lunchtime, I would go have my treatments done, and then I would come back to work. So there were no complications there.
I remember telling one of the doctors about halfway through, I said, this is the best thing that God ever helped create, or it's the biggest scam ever, because just nothing. You know, you went in, it was like getting an x-ray every day.
You was there, sitting with people ready to go in for radiation, and everybody's talking, and you became friends. After 44 days, you had a lot of fun.
People were wonderful, and they made it a lot of fun, and I've openly told other groups that it's not often that you can put the word cancer and fun in the same sentence, but they do. You know, they find ways, especially with children.
We initially just kept it with the family, and I wanted to keep it that way going through the process. I think eventually, and this is of course up to everybody to do in their own way, I eventually started letting that information out because ultimately it can help someone else.
My greatest challenge was the C word, cancer. I'm from the generation where when you hear cancer, it means get your affairs in order, it's over. Well, now due to the breakthrough in medical technology and early detection, C means choices and it means cure.